My name's Danny McCravy, and I'm a wood turner. My wife and I worked 3 jobs for a number of years, and when the kids got gone and the jobs retired from, then I had a little more time on my hands, and I took up wood turning as a hobby. My shop was built after my house was constructed, which was a 4-year undertaking. I worked on my house for 4 years, built the lake behind my house, harvested a lot of wood out of the lake area, carried it to the mill, had it sawmill, saw it into lumber, dried it, planed it, and used a lot of it in construction of my house. Some of that wood was used in the construction of my workshop. I enjoyed the construction and watching it grow over time. Done all the wiring in the house, the vac system in the house, poured a lot of the cement in the walkways myself. Just enjoyed the work, although it was hard. It took 4 years. I would work here till midnight most of the nights. We done weddings on the weekends. I ran a mobile home park in the process, but in those 4 years it took a lot out of me. I don't think I've ever been as strong as I was before I started that project. As big as the workshop is, I don't think any man can ever build a workshop that'll hold all of his toys before he dies, because he just keeps collecting them and trying to fill that void up in that shop. And that's pretty much what's happened here. I'm interested in wood, so it seems like anytime somebody has a cherry tree or a walnut tree or some tree that's down, and I just can't stand to see it go to waste, I'll go pick it up. And if you look around my shop, I've got pieces of wood everywhere that I've cut with a chainsaw and a bandsaw and painted the ends and put them up to dry. And I probably got more wood now than I'll turn before I die. When I started off, it was mostly bowls, and I've turned pins. I've turned pepper mills, salt shakers, tops, honey dippers. I like turning acorns, hollow forms, burial urns. I've turned those. I like turning them all. I've always been fascinated about acorns. I turned my wife a set of acorn earrings, little tiny ones that hang from her ear. And I was pretty happy with those, and she seems to like them. At least she tells me she liked them. Sometimes that ain't always so, but that's what she told me. You'll need gouges, and there's a number of different type gouges that you will need. One of those gouges can cost as much as about $70 or $80. Not all of them cost that much, but you won't buy a new one for much less than probably $40, something like that. There's different gouges for different jobs, and a lot of times you take a piece of metal and make a gouge to do a particular job. I've learned to do that. In all honesty, your lathe is going to be the cheapest thing you're going to buy. You think when you're going to buy it that, oh, that's expensive. But once you buy that lathe, all the toys that you're going to collect over time with the projects you're going to do adds up. My lathe is a Powermatic 3520. It'll turn a piece 35 inches long and 20 inches in diameter. It's max. I've had my lathe for a number of years. That lathe now would run you a little over $3,000. But it's a pretty much a lifetime investment. There's not much that can go wrong with it except the bearings. But that's the lathe I use. I've got 2 mini lathes. They're both jets, but they're small lathes that sometime when a friend comes over and they want to turn, or we do have a picnic here at my place once a year with my club, the GAW, and we set lathes up and anybody that like to turn is welcome to turn. And if they need any, if they're new and they need any kind of instructions, they get it for nothing. It seems like most of the things I do, I make friends in the process. One of the very closest friends I had was in Smyrna. We used to together a lot. Joe Geddes. Joe was a big influence on how I viewed it. Joe was a knowledgeable individual who, like myself, was interested in a number of things. He was a welder, a wood turner, and a very good one, and he demoed a lot. Had a lot of ideas. He and I became real close friends. But he passed away last year, and we miss him a lot. So, Joe was a tinkerer too. He was a lot like me. Joe liked to make things with his hands, and he was good at it. And I have, this is like a little demo thing that he tinkered and just played with and done, and I don't think Joe ever had desired to do any more with this piece than what he's done. And it's warped, but I have a lot of his pieces. I cherish them all. It's remind me of the camaraderie with Joe. A small reminder. There's every way I turn, there's reminders. So, that being said, some wood turners say that a piece of wood actually defines what it wants to be. In essence, talks to them and telling them what they need to do with that piece of wood. For me, I've never had a piece of wood talk to me. And I don't consider myself an artist. I just consider myself a hobbyist that likes to spend time turning wood, and I wish the piece would talk to me and tell me, but I just hadn't got to that point yet. It's very seldom that I will draw a piece and lay a drawing out, put a piece of wood on a lathe and go by that drawing. I'll have it what I want to do in my head, and I just put it on a lathe and work with it. Sometimes it works out, and sometimes it don't. I have made mistakes, but when you and everybody does make a mistake in turning a piece of wood, but if you just look at it as a redesign opportunity rather than to take it out and throw it away, you can always make something smaller. You can't make anything bigger out of it, but you can make something smaller. And don't get me wrong, you may work on a piece for 3-4 hours, half a day, get to a point and find it scattered all over the shop. You get a catch in it and you got disappointment. And sometimes scattered to the point it's not even a design opportunity. It's a piece that you put in your fireplace to burn. I guess you'd say that my main passion is just working with my hands. I just not a person that can sit around and read a book. I just need to be working with my hands and solving a problem, making something that I can be proud of. I guess most people's reward for doing this is somebody else picks your piece up and says, "That's really nice." You know, that makes a person feel good. For the young people, You know, they play on a video game, and who's going to pick that computer up and say, hey, you done a nice video game? I've never heard anybody say that. But if a young person got on a lathe or even a flat piece and built a coffee table or something out of wood or something out of metal, if they done that and they set it up and somebody come along and said, man, that's really a nice piece, you did a good job, it's different. I mean, it should make that individual, that child, feel proud that they created something and done something. I just really feel sorry that the schools have abandoned the art of kids using their hands so they can create something and be proud of it. I can say there's times when I really love teaching, and there's times when I'm not too excited about it. It really depends on the pupil. There's an old saying that when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I don't think you can teach anybody anything unless they're ready to be taught. So they got to have the desire to learn before you teach. I've worked with children or young people that were very young age before, and seen some of them that were just so excited about working with it. And then I've worked with some that they just feel like they already know it when they don't. And it's a little hard to work because they weren't ready to be taught yet. So, but it's a joy to work with somebody that's ready to learn wood turning. It's just a joy to work with them because they absorb so quick. I guess you'd say I'm attention deficit, so if I have to sit in one place too long and look at one thing too long, I got to get up and move. So for me, the hands-on is definitely a plus. And I would think for anybody that may be attention deficit or maybe even hyperactive, in the fact that you can take a piece of wood, put it on a lathe, and depending on what you're doing, in 15 or 20 minutes, you can have what you wanted to do. Now, that's not every project that you do, but it's not like you start a project and you're going to be a week working on it. So for somebody that needs to see progress pretty quick, wood turning is a good hobby to get into because you can see your progress, whether it's good or bad, and you can always improve. Some wood turners will have a stamp made and it heats and they just stamp it, but that, to me, that's not personal. It's personal and your signature's on it. And you can always, if you make a piece for somebody and you're going to sign it with a wood burner, you can always write on the back of it that it's a personal gift, the date, what it's made from, and who it's to, which makes it real personal. There's probably not another piece made just exactly like that in the world. I mean, close, maybe look like it, but won't be exact like it. You're not exactly like it. So that's the thing of handmade pieces. They're not made by machine, so duplicating it exact is it's a one of a kind.